Hi, I'm so glad you're back. We're still busy with finding God. This is the second post. If you didn't see the first one, please go and start there because I'm working with a plan. This is the second episode. We're still busy with finding God, and I guarantee that you will find Him. And please continue with the journey because much more is coming, and it only gets better and it only goes deeper. So right, today what I'm going to do is, like I promised in the first episode, I'm going to share my journey. My journey has been quite interesting. I am in my 50s. I'm Afrikaans. Vir julle wat Afrikaans verstaan, ek is 'n boeremeisie. Ek het in 'n boerehuis groot geword en ek het boerewaardes. What I was just saying, I'm a boer, I'm Afrikaans. I grew up in an Afrikaans home and I've got Afrikaans ethics and values. So basically what that means, it is quite conservative, I would say. I grew up in the 80s. I was a teenager in the 80s. I was born in the 60s. And what happens here is you go to Sunday school. You get taught in Sunday school about the Lord, you get taught about the Bible, you get taught about typical Bible stories. Most Afrikaans people go to church every Sunday. Well, it used to be like that. Now, not anymore, not that strictly, but most religious people go to church every Sunday. Most others will be in church with weddings, funerals, and christenings. Christenings, what I mean here is in our Afrikaans culture, when a baby is born, they take the baby to the church and the dominee, which is the pastor, will, they call it baptism, it's not, it's christening. They christen the child, which means they welcome him into the church community. And that is taught as baptism, which we will come to later. It is not baptism, it is christening. Right, then we get to the conservative church. Let's start there. This is where I was brought up, the conservative church. Most Afrikaans people in our country is conservative. They grew up in the conservative church. This is the way they do things. This is where I got most of my teachings from and where I got my values from and where I was taught. The conservative church, most Afrikaans people belong to that, and I think the English equivalent would be the Catholic Church. I'm not sure. I'm not going to go into that because I'm not knowledgeable. But in the conservative church, my main thing there was I got my message. I went to church every Sunday. I took my kids to Sunday school, and my main concern there was the Holy Spirit was never mentioned. I knew that the Holy Spirit, there was something more. The Holy Spirit had to be, because the Bible mentions the Holy Spirit in the book of Acts, that is exactly what it's about, the Holy Spirit. Then, this my journey in the conservative church, most of my life. And I think many other people as well. And I actually had quite an issue with this, that I felt for a while that I wasted my time. Then something happened. Something very significant. My sister got cancer. Breast cancer. And me, myself, I always knew that healing was there. Healing was supposed to be available to all people who believe in Jesus. Okay? So Jesus and healing. But I never knew how to get it. How do I get it to my sister? She's sick, she needs healing. So what I did there is I went to training. Long story short is one of my good friends told me about teaching. Specifically, let me mention it because he is a legend. If you want to know more about healing, and this guy is amazing, John G. Lake. So I did a teaching on that. I did training, and then this is my testimony. When we were finished, it was as follows, very briefly. He activated us. Basically what he said is, you are ready, go and heal. There was an evening assembly, and sick people were told to come, and we weren't allowed to pray for our own people. So I went to a random woman that I didn't know, and I prayed, and she was healed. How it happened is, I'll never, ever, ever, ever forget it. What happened is, I walked up to her, and suddenly I felt like a filling. The only way I can describe it is, was oil flowing into me. And I knew something was happening. I've never, ever experienced this in my life. I knew something was happening. And I went to her, and when I touched her, it was like going to her. It was flowing out of me. And I'll never forget it. And she jumped up and she was healed. I cannot even remember what was wrong. I think she had excessive sweating or something. So this was the start of my journey. With my sister, it was a very long story. She was healed, but she actually got sick again, and eventually she passed because the breast cancer spread. I'm not going to go into that. That's just part of my personal journey. The next thing that happened is, because of the training, I landed at a charismatic church. Now, from the conservative church where I was there to going to charismatic church, there is a very massive leap. Because here, it is spirit-filled, they worship, they fall in the spirit. For you guys that have grown up there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For you guys that have been in the conservative church, this is foreign. Actually, the conservative churches warn you against this. They say, don't go there because it's spiritual, you'll get problems. So I was I was scared, and I didn't know what to expect, but I went there. And it was amazing. I was there for a long time, and I learned a lot. It was necessary to go there because they had lots of teachings. They had lots of books that they could offer, and they had lots of suggestions how to learn more about. Why I did it was the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. I wanted to know more, because this here and that there was what ignited me. This was amazing, that it was real. This is what ignited me. For you, it will be something different. This is just my journey. I'm just sharing my journey. Okay, so this lasted about 6 years. Yeah, 6 years. And then from there, it was last year, where I was wondering, is this it? Isn't there more? And we landed up in a group of 5 ladies. I think it's just easier for ladies to connect. It's awkward with men being there, but our group of ladies had an amazing time. And why we did that was to hear his voice. The leader of the group actually went with us. She took us through a process to hear his voice. And you know what happened there? It wasn't at all what I thought it would be. It wasn't at all what I thought would, I actually thought it would be an audible voice. And other things things that I was waiting for didn't happen. And I ended up thinking, is this it? And I was very, very despondent because I was so excited and all the ladies in the group were so excited. But you know what? Eventually, what I decided was, I've been on this side of the scale. I've been on that side of the scale. It's like a pendulum that was swinging. And I think I landed here eventually with more questions than answers. And I made a decision here. And truth was the main thing. No more lies, no more pretenses, no more falseness. I decided right here. Either it's real and it's really from God, or I want nothing more. And here at this point, suddenly things started happening. And from here, with the next videos, I'm going to share the amazing thing that happened, where suddenly God became real. And he started speaking and sharing, and he gave me, the only way I can describe what he gave me was treasures or manna from heaven. So this is where we're going. So keep on watching. See you next time.